This is your boy Roto Beast. I'm here with my boy Jeremy. We're here to present you our NBA. I'm sorry. We're here to present you our MLB On Deck segment for Monday, April 8th. If you're new to this channel, please make sure and click the subscribe button below. This way you can watch all of our MLB, NBA, and NFL videos. And if you haven't came and checked out the website at dfscheatsheet.com, you're absolutely missing out. We have all the tools to help you compete with the pros day in and day out, including a complete optimizer, tons of content, daily FanDuel, and DraftKings cash lineups. Hey, we're truly a one-stop shop for all your DFS needs. So make sure to come check out the site here at dfscheatsheet.com. So, hey, what up, Jeremy? How you doing, bro?
Yo, what's up, man? I'm doing good. It's been a funny-ass day so far. It really has. It's been a funny-ass day so far.
Hey, it's been a good start to my morning for sure, bro. Got some comedy in, and yeah. So real quick before we do anything, I want to give a quick shout out to my longtime member Paul Marchetti. He's been with me for 3 years now. Man, hey, trust me, man. He's been with me. We've definitely had ups and downs, more ups and downs. But Friday night, using our optimizer, won 25K. Took down first place in a $9 tournament. Yes, Optimizer took down 25K in the $9 entry Friday night. Huge shout out to my boy Paul Marchetti. Congrats, bro. Hey, nobody deserved it more than you. I know you guys don't know my boy Paul, but this past year or so, he's been going through a lot of stuff. And yeah, man, I'm really, really happy for you, bro. If you guys haven't checked it out, man, dfscheatsheet.com. We got everything to help you guys compete with the pros. Hey, man, our longtime member just won $25,000. So check it out. So, hey, man, I'm ready just to kind of jump in and just quickly kind of talk a little bit of baseball and kind of get a first look of what we're kind of looking at today. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, yeah. I'm ready to hop into it.
Okay, bro. So we'll just kind of do it, kind of how we were doing it earlier in the year. We'll just talk about a couple pitchers that we possibly think are really good on this slate, and then we'll talk about a couple teams that we're going to be targeting. This is just going to be kind of a brief overview, just kind of get you going. If you want more in-depth analysis on team stacks, on pitchers, why we like them or why we don't like them, we got about 5 or 6 different MLB articles you could check out on the site, get a lot more deeper dive into today's slate. Like I said, it's going to be more of an overview, but yeah, let's go into it, bro. So I'm going to talk about a pitcher that I like, and I haven't really seen a lot of people really talking about him, but I'm just going to stick with him. He's a guy that I really like on today's slate. It's going to be Tanaka, man. Tanaka, 9,700 going against Houston. I know a lot of people are not probably really looking at Tanaka just because he's going against a potent Houston offense. But there's 2 things that I'm really looking at. First side of things is Tanaka has really had a good couple of starts to start the season. He's pitching very well right now. And then you look on the flip side of things, Houston is a team. They're definitely better against lefties. I mean, they can obviously blow up anybody, but they're definitely better against lefties. And, man, they've been struggling. So you got a team that's better usually against lefties, and they're a struggling team against a really good pitcher who's actually had pretty good success over his career against Houston. I mean, Tanaka's a really, really good pitcher that I think is going to be lower owned than he should be, and I like him today. I'm not necessarily saying he's a cash game play, but I think he's in a really good spot to get a quality start once again today.
So the one thing that look, on paper, like first visually look at it, it's like scary because it's the Houston Astros. The Houston Astros they've been one of the chalkier teams out there as far as implied run total goes over the first, 11 games of the season. I think we're 11 games in now. And it's like, do I want to use Tanaka against Houston tonight? It's a little bit scary, but Houston struck out a ton, man. And I've gone over Houston and their struggles a lot in the deep dive in my stacks article. So I definitely think Tanaka's in play. I'll get more into what I think about Tanaka when I do my deep dive. So make sure that you get that. I'll also cover the other side of this.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you, what do you think about Verlander? Because I think Verlander is probably going to be a very chalky play today.
There's some very interesting things that I've seen with Verlander that I'll get into. I'll break Verlander down. Like right now, I'm on the fence of where he's going to be exposure wise for me today, and if I may actually full on fade Justin Verlander today. So I'll get into that on the deep dive. So make sure that you miss that or don't miss that.
Right, for sure. Another pitcher that I'm liking too is I'm liking, and it's not because I'm a Dodger fan, but Raul's been pitching very well for us. 9,400, the price tag has crept up, but I think he's going to give you a solid floor. Same thing as Tanaka. I don't know if Raul's a cash game pitcher. He may be a little bit more GPP pitcher just because it's not the best matchup. But I like Raul as well. He's been pitching well, a couple of really good starts on the season. For me, I mean, I like Tanaka and I like Raul. Those are probably my two of my more favorite pitchers on this slate. I was considering Verlander earlier in the morning, and then me and you kind of got to talking about him. And there's a couple of things that are really worrying me about Verlander. So it's kind of really jumped up Tanaka and Raul a little bit for me. What pitcher are you really liking? Like, who's standing out to you right now? GPP or cash game, just in general?
I'll tell you this, all right, and then I'll save the rest of it for the deep dive. There's a pitcher that I'm looking at today who was 10-2 last year at home. That I'm strongly considering using a good amount of tonight in tournaments. So don't. I'm just gonna tell you. I hate to be a tease, but I mean I'm up till like I'm on the west. We're on the West Coast, and I'm up to like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning researching these slates. So I hate to just come on YouTube and just blast out all my research, right? We're doing the deep dive. Make sure you sign up for the website. You get that if you're a paid member. So I'm just going to tell you that there's a guy who's 10-2, went 10-2 at home last year, he's all over my radar.
Okay, so but we have established that we feel like Verlander is going to probably be the chalky cash game play, correct?
I mean, look, anytime you have Verlander or a Max Scherzer or somebody whose price is that high and their name is that big on the slate, he's going to garner ownership. And on this slate, there's not a lot of safe spots to look at. I mean, you can look at Madison Bumgarner, and he's a 9,200 on FanDuel. Does he make you feel warm and fuzzy, right? I mean, so it's my point being, does Tanaka, does he make you feel warm and fuzzy? There's another guy on this slate that I'm looking at as well, who's going to make his first start tonight. So, I'm looking at Velasquez a lot. Velasquez, I'm not sure how many people are on Velasquez or will be.
I have
he's very, very in my opinion, he's very under the radar because he didn't make a start. He made an appearance out of the bullpen. They're going to use him as their fifth starter. They're at that spot today. He's going to start.
6,800 is too cheap for Velasquez.
Yeah. And I'll just go over, just so you know, the stuff that I break down when I go when in the deep dive. I'll go over a couple of things on Velasquez. His hard contact rate was up a little bit, right? And one thing that you talk about, a difference between a pitcher who's a starter and a pitcher who comes out of the bullpen, and a guy who's is a starter and then moves to the bullpen. What the difference is? One, they throw harder, right, out of the bullpen because they know they can cut it loose for that one inning or that inning or two thirds.
Many pitches.
They're not throwing over right. They're not throwing over 5 or 6 or 7 innings. They can go cut it loose, right? So what happens when you throw harder? It can affect the spin rate on some of your pitches, and the tilt on your slider might look a little bit off. So some of those peripherals look a little skewed, but it's only a 1 inning sample size. And I'm going to attribute it to that. But this is the stuff that I get into when I talk about pitchers when I do the deep dive. I'm looking at where their velocity is at right now as compared to their career and last year. A good example is a guy to look at is Felix Hernandez, right? Felix Hernandez has just about and he's just about eliminated the four-seam fastball. Felix Hernandez threw let me look at my notes really quick. 9 four-seam fastballs is what he's thrown. 9 four-seam fastballs. So you look at a guy who, and I'll give you like July of 2017, he threw 118 four-seam fastballs in the month of July in 6 starts. So, he's averaging right about, 25 four-seam fastballs per start. And you look at him now and he's throwing 9. So, he's clearly a guy who's starting to pitch to contact. So, this is the stuff that we break down. We do the deep dive and try to figure out, are these guys we're going to another spot is we can transition to hitters here, bro. And the game that I have up is a game definitely I think should be chalk, Oakland and Baltimore. This is 2 gas cans and Marco Estrada and Andrew Kashner. So that's kind of where I'm looking to start the day with bats. But that's kind of where I'm at, bro.
Yeah, for sure. So, going into bats, there's a couple obvious spots today. Anytime Coors Field is on the slate, you obviously want to pretty much get as much exposure from both sides. of that. And then you got two teams that actually are really good hitting teams. You got the Rockies. They've definitely started kind of a little bit of up and down this season, and they haven't necessarily had a really good series where they're putting it together, but it's really early in the season. Now they're getting their second stand at home. The bats are going to come alive. They got some really, really good hitters. So, I like Colorado. And then on the other side of things with Atlanta, I mean, Atlanta's lineup is stacked. I mean, it is what it is. And yes, you got Julio Teheran, who has strikeout upside, but the guy also gives up a bunch of home runs as well. So, I mean, whenever we're going to talk about bats and there's Coors Field on the slate, I mean, you definitely got to talk about both sides of that. That's really where you got to kind of start with your research and see if there's people underpriced or whatnot, etc. So, I mean, my question for you, I mean, obviously the Braves and the Rockies are the top game on the slate. What side of things do you like a little bit better?
I actually like. I don't think I have a preference here, and I don't think I have a preference in this one as far as which side do I like better.
Just get as much as you can in there, basically, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna stack up both sides. Look, I have a pretty simple rule with Coors Field. If it's on the slate, I stack it. Period.
That's it. As much exposure as possible. And when we say that, you guys gotta understand is I used to be a strictly cash game player. Jeremy was strictly a GPP player. And now I'm gonna be honest with you, man, especially in baseball, I'm starting to convert over. I'm learning a lot more of the stacking rules and learning how to use our stacking tools. And I've been doing a lot more stacking as well. And trying to stack games as many ways as possible. That's one thing that I've definitely learned. And this is a game that you want to kind of, if you can stack it 150 ways, you're probably going to stack it 150 ways. But obviously, we do want to get a little bit of exposure elsewhere in case, this game for some crazy reason isn't high scoring. We don't want to kind of be stuck. So a couple other teams that I'm liking, I like the A's. The A's have the third highest implied total on the slate going against Andrew Cashner. I understand Andrew Cashner had a pretty good game last game going against Toronto. Hey, but Toronto has looked bad on this season. So as much as I want to give Cashner credit, I gotta face the fact that Toronto is just looking bad as a lineup as a whole. Cashner.
So really quick, let's just compare the two teams he's faced and the team he's going to face tonight in the A's. Okay, so you talk about K percentage. The Blue Jays 28.6 K percentage, the Yankees 22.9, the A's 17.6. So the A's don't strike out. Okay. So Cashner's had 3 strikeouts in each of his first 2 starts. Really good start against Toronto, and he give up 6 runs against the Yankees. Let's look at ISO. The Blue Jays 135, right? The Yankees 240, got him for 6 runs. And then on base percentage, another thing I look at as well as OPS, but I'll cut it off here. On base percentage, Toronto is at 261 for on base. That's not their batting average, bro. That's their on base percentage as a team. It's 261, right? The Yankees 374. And the A's 306. So, the A's are also coming off of a series in Houston that they didn't score a lot of runs until yesterday. So, they're still at 306. They only strike out 17.6% of the time.
Yeah, the A's have a pretty good lineup for sure.
Right. I mean, they trucked Boston, and they kind of ran into a little bit of a buzzsaw pitching wise against Houston. I mean, Wade Miley went out there and that was a spot we talked about Wade Miley on the deep dive video. So that was a spot that I don't think anybody thought, Wade Miley's going to, he's a favorite today. But my point here is that the A's are not the Blue Jays. The A's are more towards the Yankees. So, this is not, but I'm telling you right now, I mean, look, Baltimore has hit the ball out of the ballpark. They've got some guys in this lineup that can do some stuff. They've got some talent on this team. Are they a rebuilding team? Yes. Would I play Chris Davis? Maybe once or twice, just because maybe he hits a dong and nobody's going to own the guy. He has 1 hit this year. No, I don't think he has a hit yet.
Doesn't have a hit yet.
I think he has a walk. So his on base.
He got a walk.
I take it back. He has 2 walks. His on base percentage going into yesterday was 0.96. So look. Baltimore against Marco Estrada, another guy that, I mean, look, for his career, his velocity's down. He's got his last year, put it this way. Last year, his soft and medium contact was total about 70%. This year, his medium and hard contact is 70%. So there's a direct correlation when you start looking at guys with what their pitchers, what their velocity is, and then what the batting average against is. Their batting average against is, right. Like for each mile per hour they go up, batting average against goes down, and for each mile per hour their velocity goes down. Guess what happens to batting average against? It goes up. So his fly ball rate is up. And fly ball rate, we like fly balls because of home runs. Velo is down in all the pitches he throws across the board. He has started 3 games because we can't forget Seattle did open up with Oakland in Japan. 16 in the third, 9 hits, 7 Ks. It's not a guy that you want to look to load. Nobody's going to load up Marco Estrada tonight.
All right, and two other teams that I'm looking to kind of target bat wise, and we'll kind of get out there. We'll quickly touch over them. I really like the Phillies going against Anibal Sanchez. He's going to make his first start this season. And Sanchez, I mean, the guy, he's way past his prime. I mean, I've been targeting him basically the past 3 years in DFS, and it's worked out way more times than it hasn't. And now he gets a matchup against the Phillies, who is possibly has the top 3 best lineup in the league. I think this is a great spot for Philadelphia at home going against Anibal Sanchez. And the other team that I'm looking at as well is Seattle. You talked about Seattle at the very beginning of the season, that they were going to be a sneaky lineup, that have some good quality hitters in that lineup, and it showed in the first week and a half. And then today they're getting a matchup going against Homer Bailey. Homer Bailey is just as much of a gas can as Anibal Sanchez. Homer Bailey got blown up over and over last season with the Reds. The only difference is now he's in a different jersey, in my personal opinion. Am I wrong about the Phillies in Seattle?
The thing I'm going to say you're wrong about there's 2 things. One, Sanchez has made 1 start this year. He went 4 innings, and he didn't do well. He struggled. So
okay, I thought we still got him as a DL tag, so I was thinking that he was coming off. That's my bad.
So he did make a start. He went 4 innings, gave up 4 earned, and the start was against Philadelphia. So
I was right. I was right about the gas can. It just was. I was wrong about the start.
Yeah. So he got hit hard. Look. You can look at some of the peripherals that I have on my screen, right? I mean, his velocity is down by we talked about. I just talked about how that impacts stuff. So velocity is down a little bit, and we can get into what pitches he's throwing and what pitches he's not throwing anymore. He's kind of the same guy still, so he's not throwing too much. I mean, fastball percentage is down about 2%. His sinker is up by almost 0.5%. So he's pretty much the same guy. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Then what do you think about the Seattle going against Homer Bailey?
All right. So one thing that I'm not sure people are gonna really, unless you take a quote unquote, no pun intended, a deeper dive into it. Bailey went 5 innings and struck out 8 against Minnesota in his start. So do I think that Homer Bailey is a gas can? I think that he pitched in Great American Small Park. I think that Homer Bailey as a whole, will get deeper into Homer Bailey on the deep dive. But I don't necessarily think that Homer Bailey is a straight gas can. Do I agree with you about Seattle? Yes. Yeah. Look, Seattle's a team that like you said, I said early in the year that this is a good young team that has some guys who can really swing the bat, and I think they would surprise people. And I think that with a 9-2 record so far and all the runs they've scored, I think they have surprised people, right? So I don't mind Seattle today. Seattle's definitely a consideration for me as well. But a quick look at Homer Bailey. 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned, 8 strikeouts. In his start against Minnesota. The ERA is going to throw people off because it's a 5.4 ERA. That's because he gave up 3 runs over 5. The thing that I like to look at is, he struck out 8 in 5 innings, right? I mean, he struck out 8 in 5 innings. I believe the start was against Barrios as well. I would have to double check that. But Homer Bailey's not a guy that I've completely just crossed off. And I'll just tell you why. If you read my stacks article, if you've been reading the stacks article, there's nights like where I'm saying that I'm loading up the Diamondbacks. There's nights where I said I'm loading up the Giants against Ross Stripling. like where you would think I'm high. Like, why? What are you talking about? There's no. Well, we were probably 2 big hits away from the Giants paying off, right, against Stripling. Belt hit a home run.
I remember that night we had them stacked.
Right. So I mean, look, Homer Bailey's not a guy that I've crossed off my list yet.
Okay, so just to clarify things, are you siding more on the Homer Bailey side of things, or are you siding on the Seattle Bats kind of things?
With me, it's net like when I'm in a situation where there's a guy that I'm considering, it's not about me saying, oh, I'm going to lean more this way or the other way. It's more me trying to figure out what exposure rate I'm going to have each side of it at. Does that make sense? I mean,
yeah, no, that makes sense. I get what you're saying.
I'm not gonna load up Seattle Bats against Homer Bailey.
You're going to be playing both of them, but you're going to be playing an opposite. Yeah, no, I get you completely. So, hey, man, that's really where we're at with our On Deck segment. We kind of just quickly touch on some pitchers that we're considering, touch on some bats. Just a quick overview. You know, we talked about a couple guys, Ryu, Tanaka, Velasquez, Verlander, possibly pitcher-wise tonight. Bat-wise, we're targeting, you know, the Rockies, Braves, A's, Phillies, and then possibly some Seattle bats as well. So that's kind of where we're at. Just quick little overview of some things that are really sticking out for us on tonight's slate. If you want a more in-depth analysis, like I said in the very beginning of the video, we got 5 or 6 different articles up just for MLB. Plus, we got a bunch of other sports going on. Make sure to check out the site, dfscheatsheet.com. And, hey, good luck on your guys' contest tonight, all right? Peace out.